welcome back to Dicing with Death. We will get to Ryan's grub score, which you've been asking for in chat, in a little bit, but first there are orcs to deal with. You can hear them.
Oh, that's right. Shall I roll for initiative, or are we not?
I was going to give you a perception check to see if you can tell how many orcs there are just by the sound of them approaching without looking over the wall, if you want to do so. Or you can be just a stubborn dwarf and jump into it.
Yeah, we'll do this before I get my helm on. Nope. Too busy getting my helm on. Yeah, so I don't know how many rounds I have, so I'm going for chainmail and then helmet and then getting shields ready and trying to make as little noise as possible, like, and not like all like laid down beneath or like squatting down lower than the wall.
Right, so you're throwing on your chainmail and you're getting your helmet on, and after you get your chainmail and your helmet on, your keen dwarven ears pick up one of the orcs going, shh, to the others, and they all fall quiet all of a sudden.
I think I felt quiet as well. I inch my halberd into my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess just get ready to whack anything that comes inside of this keep. You said it's 20 by 20?
Yeah.
So here I am, like, backed into a corner.
Mm-hmm.
I can probably reach either door with a halberd. Or maybe I'm backed against the mid wall.
Well, one of them pokes its ugly orcish head over a wall. You can see it's got tusks coming off of it. Yeah, because the walls aren't that tall, and these orcs are pretty tall. And he just looks over, and you spot this guy looking over the wall at you next to your goat there.
Yeah, and I think we're not going to get too philosophical over here on Dicing with Death, and I think we're just going to assume that this creature of chaos is a natural enemy of dwarves.
Most definitely.
And rolled a hit. So I believe I had where did you say? Did it come from behind me? If I saw it coming, I should get an attack of opportunity when it comes within my reach. But if he's coming from behind.
No, it's coming from the north side. So I think as it pokes its head over, you've got your attack readied and you spot it and you go to swing. It's got 3/4 cover because only its head is over the wall. So
how does that work?
So that's a bonus to its AC. 75% hidden.
75
is
7. 5.
7.
There's a 75% hidden in this?
Yeah.
So no, I roll 13, but I think it just collides with the wall.
Clatters with the stone, sending sparks, and we roll initiative.
How high are the walls?
I want to say they're like 4.5 feet. I mean, they're not even, but they're about 4.5 feet. So they go up and down all over the place. Yeah.
What is... Yeah, I think halberd's real slow. I may want to drop down to battle axe. Halberd is 9. But correct me if I'm wrong, but if I've got a reach weapon, I will get opportunity attacks when they try to close with me.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
So I think I'm still better off with halberd. So I'm going to, at least for this round. All right, D10 plus 9. A 1.
Oh, so very 10. Nice.
So I think I moved to the center of the room and like spin around, standing up. I guess I can't quite see over the wall, but I can probably see orcs sticking up over the wall.
Yeah. They get a 9, a 10, and a 14. No, a 9, a 10, and a 13. So the first one, this is the one that poked its head over. It drops back down. You hear it bark at the others in orcish, and then one hand on the wall, and then throwing its body over the wall to jump towards you.
It jumps over the wall.
Yeah, it's like leaping over the wall with a arming sword in one hand. And that will give you with a mace in one hand, and that'll give you roll an opportunity attack as it closes.
Yeah. How many opportunity attacks do fighters get? Oh, a critical miss.
You get 3 plus 1/5 your level rounded down. So you should have 3 total.
Okay. 3 total. 3 plus. Okay.
So it's a swing and a miss as the orc leaps towards you with
his leap
a
caught
hit.
me by surprise.
Yeah. He closes with you with a 15 to hit with his mace, which collides with your body, doing 2 points of damage, 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, and I think how many? It's been enough days that I would have just fully healed from the last wound.
Definitely.
Correct?
It's been 4 days, so you should have regained 3 HP. So 2 points of bludgeoning versus your chainmail. I'm going to let you do the math on that.
Oh, gotta refer to my handy dandy Discord. Table that was so beautifully legible. All right, over here in my whoops. Come on. Here in my PM. All right, sorry. Good practice though. Chain bludgeoning would be reduced by 2, so just to 0, right?
Yeah. So it hits you in the armor. It's a glancing blow off your shoulder. The padding underneath your armor completely absorbs the blow. As the next hobgoblin hops over the wall, this guy's got a spear, and he rushes you with it. Like, it's low, and he's charging right at you. But you get another attack of opportunity with your reach weapon.
I whirl around, halberding. No, I don't whirl around. Maybe he comes from my flank and I don't make it in time, or I get faked out by the guy charging from the other side.
It's slow and it completely misses. The spear hits you with a 14 to hit.
Yeah, it's a hit.
For 1 and 3 is 4 points of piercing damage.
Piercing, you say? Reduced by 3, so to 1 point of damage.
Okay. I should mention that all of these orcs are wearing like leather armor, hides really.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you get a turn before the last orc goes.
Yeah. So I go ahead. I'm going to use. Let's see. Is there an orc that hasn't charged in yet? How many orcs do I see in total?
There's 2 orcs on the inside of the wall. And you see a third with an arming sword that's running towards the wall, ready to like one-handed hop over it.
I am going to leave the building. Oh no, they've closed with me. So if I attack a guy outside, he's in cover. Right. I guess I'm just gonna So I'll tango with these guys indoors and make an attack against one that just charged me.
Sure. Make me roll to hit.
Oh, I did. That's including the +1 I got versus orcs. So 15.
That'll hit their body.
Halberd is a D10. I totally should have strength of stoned. Oh well. For 3 points of damage
against their leather armor.
Something.
So that their armor will absorb 3 points. Is this halberd slashing or piercing or hacking?
Slashing and piercing. Slashing +, piercing. So whichever was.
But it's like an axe on the end of a pole. So I'm qualifying axes as hacking weapons rather than slashing weapons, since it's a...
it's a halberd. It can be either slashing or piercing by the rules.
Sure.
I mean, eventually we'll be designing ultra spears that do optimal damage versus everything.
Sure. So how do you want to deal with weapons that do either type?
I think I can choose, unless like the fictional positioning sets me up such that you can't pierce with a halberd, for example, in this case.
Sure, let's call it piercing then.
Right, so I think I'd skewer this guy on the front of my halberd.
All right.
Maybe in the opportunity attacks, you'd want to like switch between randomly or whatever, but I think for a deliberate attack like that, I should just be able to choose.
Sure. We'll sort it out later. Let's just leave it at this for now. So you do 3 points. Their armor reduces it by 1.
-1 is 2, yeah.
Yeah. So you will hit him for 2 points of damage, which leaves him still alive. Where I need another set of dice over here. Lovely. All right, and the last guy with his arming sword hops over the wall and goes to circle to your side, slashing at you with a 14 to hit, including flanking.
Yeah, it'll hit.
All right, and his arming sword will do 7 points of slashing damage to you.
7 points of slashing gets reduced by 6.
Slashing versus chain is kind of shitty, yeah. All right, and we roll to the next round of initiative.
Alrighty. So I would have gotten one more attack of opportunity if that guy came from outside in, right?
Yeah. Roll it.
So it's 14 should have been a hit.
Yes.
4 points of damage, -1 is 3.
Okay. Excellent. So you've got 2 wounded orcs, 1 very healthy orc, and here you are. Let's roll that initiative.
Oh yeah.
They get a 7, a 9, and a 15 for initiative.
Ooh, another 1 for 5. So
You go first.
I set my halberd on the floor, pick up my battle axe. Do I have my buckler strapped to me? Or
I don't
did
think you got
get
it on in time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I just hoist this battle axe. I guess doing two-handed doesn't really do anything. There's no versatile or anything. 14 should hit though.
Definitely. Which one is this against? The mace, the spear, or the sword?
I can't keep them track. I think I just distribute it randomly.
Perfect.
4 points of hacking damage.
You hack into the swordsman, who reduces it by 2, leaving it 2 damage, and knocks him down and kills him, leaving you with 2 orcs, 1 in front of you, 1 slightly to your right. They exchange maybe a slightly
Come and
nervous...
get it, pig.
Yeah, they exchange a nervous glance as their swordsman is just cut down in front of them, and move to be 1 on either side of you, so they're both flanking you. So 1 rolls a 14 and 1 rolls a 17 against you.
Both hits.
All right. The mace will hit you for 5 points of damage, 5 bludgeoning.
Ooh, that stings. Reduced by not that much.
By 2, I believe.
Reduced by 2. So what did you say? 5 points?
5, yeah.
So 3.
While the spear comes at you from your other side and deals 3 points of damage.
Reduced to 0. And I will next round initiative, right?
Yes. Do you have expertise?
I do. Yeah.
With
but
battle axe or
I
with
switched
halberd?
battle axe. I switched weapons.
Right. Okay. Next round initiative.
11.
They get at 10 and 16. So the mace comes, swings at you with with a 21 at natural 19.
So that's gonna crit.
That's gonna crit you.
Too bad for him. He doesn't have a black steel forged weapon with custom crit hit table or anything.
Right. So that will do a total of 7 points of damage. Actually, kind of low on that crit damage.
Cool. Do we want to determine location or anything, or are we just doing double?
We're just I just rolled 2d6 plus 2.
Okay. So 10. You said 10.
I said 7.
7
minus
6 if it's slashing, or is it hacking?
No, it's bludgeoning. It's a mace.
Oh, ouch.
So
it's
5 points.
Minus 5 points. I'm looking pretty worse for the wear. 3.
Okay.
So let's go 2 attacks against the other guy.
Go for it.
Oh, I guess I only get 1, and then he goes 1 attack against the other guy. 16.
That'll hit him.
I don't get any damage. Oh, just 1.
It's
1 point of hacking. It's completely ineffective.
Completely absorbed by his armor. The spearman takes a stab at you with an 11.
I don't have my shield at the ready, so I guess that's a hit.
So
I've got
a hit.
So there's no AC bonus for armor, and I'm just AC 10.
Right, except for shields or dexterity. So you will take 3 points of damage from the spear,
which is reduced to 0.
Okay. So he stabs you, it gets caught in your armor and kind of pushes it back into the side around you, almost spinning you in place.
Yeah, I get a second attack against the mace. 14. 2 points of damage. Damn it.
Which is reduced to 0. Yeah. So the orcs are on either side of you now. They're surveying the situation. Their other comrade is on the ground bleeding to death, but they don't seem too concerned about his life or loss thereof. So let's roll initiative one more time. They get an 11 and a 12.
I am... is the sun up yet?
Yes, the sun is just peeking above the hills.
Well, we all know orcs hate sunlight, so Mace Guy has to roll a saving throw versus spell as the first rays of sunlight rise.
A 14 is a fail on his part.
So he takes 5 points of damage. Armor doesn't reduce that.
Not in the slightest. The sun strikes the back of his head as it rises over, and you can smell the burning hair that kind of roils off of his head.
Is he still standing?
No, he collapses to the ground, dropping his mace and like reaching out in horror towards you.
You've no place here.
Right. His
Not in the light.
His orc companion with the spear sees the sunbeam striking him and looks down at the other dead orc and looks at you in your chainmail armor and kind of waves his spear at you and slowly starts to back out of the reach of your battle axe before hopping the wall and taking off.
I spit some blood at him as he flees. Actually, I guess I've got a helm on, so no, I don't spit into my helm. I guess I take off my helm so I can spit.
There you go.
And I look around. Are there any other orcs that I didn't notice? Like that may have been like a rear guard or anything?
You can peek over the wall and see that it's just the one orc giving a look over his shoulder as he flees north through the sparse woods along the lakeside.
I guess now is as good a time as any to look at this tower. Does it look occupied?
There is no tower.
Keep?
Yeah. You're in the keep. It's ruined, right? It's just the walls and that's about it.
I mean, like, is there a campfire? Is there is this where these orcs are living?
No.
So this is the first time I've seen the place in daylight.
Right, yeah. So it looks like there is a place here for a fire to be made in this fireplace, and it looks like there are remains of ashes here from previous fires, but it doesn't look like it's a permanent camp. It looks like people will use this as they're passing through as a place to stay, but it's one of those like frequent campsites, but nothing permanent.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and drag the orcs outside and give their bodies a once over.
There are 4 days worth of rations on them, but it's orc food. It's kind of gross. It's edible.
I can purify that.
Yeah. They have one of them has a red gemstone. It's a small red gemstone on him. Yep. And that's pretty much it. Just a little bit of food and a gemstone. No idea what they're doing out here.
Gemstone, though. Interesting. So I'll pocket that. Probably the food, too, actually.
Yep. Add 4 days of rations.
Yeah, so it was 2 pounds a day. Okay. Back to like... All right, so I'm back up to... Back up to a couple days of rations. All right, so I'm gonna... I guess my sleep was interrupted, right? So I can't memorize spells.
I mean, you were waking up just before the light of dawn.
And so I burned that sun scorch, and I can replace it immediately with purify food and drink, and purify this awful.
It's late autumn, so there's more nighttime hours than daylight hours. So you've probably slept like 8 hours already, so you've got plenty of sleep. And you can quickly memorize your sun scorch, rememorize something in place of that sun scorch. And you find yourself alone in the hills, hoping to prove your family, make your family proud, but also on the verge of death.
Yeah, so I think we'll probably lie low and get... can I rest? I think I just got to keep searching. There's no way to gain HP.
It's a dangerous task that you're undertaking out here.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to start in this valley and sort of spiral out from here and use this as a camp for a couple of days.
Okay.
So I think I'll leave Goat. I can move just as fast, taking all my stuff with me, but still using this as like a base camp and spiral out.
Okay. Give me a perception check as you search this next day and spiral and spiral and spiral.
Nope.
Dude, your perception checks suck.
Yup.
All right, that first day you find nothing and you come back to base camp. And you will gain an HP the next day. Roll me another perception check. Let's see how long it takes you to find something.
Day 2. Nope.
Oh my god.
Should I do day 3?
Yep, do day 3.
Finally on day 3. So by then, I think I've just been like slowly, methodically spiraling my way around this little gully here.
Right. So
by
I think
day 3, have I sorted out the landscape enough to get any sort of insight?
Yeah, I think you're walking through a valley this time that you've seen from above. And every time you've seen it from above, you haven't found anything. But this time you're like, let's walk through it. You know, we're tired of looking at these things from the sky. And as you're walking through, you see this, like the front entrance to a mine that is slightly covered, slightly collapsed on.
So, I will, what's the lighting like? What time of day is it?
Why don't you give me I'll roll a d12 and see what time of day. Probably be close to like a d10. This is 2 hours after you've set out, so it's still morning before the sun's up. Or before afternoon. So it's fairly early in your day.
Okay, and it's been 2 days, so can I gain 2 HP, or is it 1?
1 HP.
2, right? 1?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I will, Alright, so I will move on in, I guess. I think probably leaving Goat outside, and I'm gonna have a peer into this mine.
Okay. Right away, you can tell that this is a mine of dwarven make. Etched into the support beams that frame the front of the mine are words in dwarven that tell you that this, once upon a time, was a copper mine. But also at the bottom of it are marks that say, like, you know, mined out, or there's a symbol for the mine has reached the end of its life and there's nothing left in here. And it's kind of, you know, abandoned, empty, used up, old ridden mine. Inside is kind of a damp, musty smell, like wet soil or something. And there's a kind of a cool breeze that is slowly blowing out of the mine as the day heats up and the air outside starts to rise.
All right, I'm making sure my shield is strapped on tight this time.
Mm-hmm.
And I will move on forward and I guess smell the mine first. That's the first sign of orcs.
It smells like wet earth.
Well, I tiptoe forward. How tall? What are the dimensions of this mine shaft?
It's dwarven size, so it's maybe 6.5 feet tall, just tall enough for you to swing a pickaxe overhead without any problems. And then fairly wide, about 5 feet. There are wooden slats that show the remains that there once was like a minecart system, but all the metal that they used for the minecart has been ripped away and probably repurposed, but the wooden slats are still on the ground. Little bits of rats and other rodents are crawling around on the ground at your feet. And water drips from overhead.
I use a shield to block the drips. And I guess poke on in. I don't have any light source, but I got eyes made for seeing underground.
Yeah. You come on in, and maybe 50 feet in, the passage forks, one to the front and left and one to the front and right. But also in the middle of this fork is a nest, maybe 3 feet across, made out of branches, like dried up branches, and a little bit of soft, what do you call it, like pine needles and things, tinder, like various bits of tinder that you would find outside. And seated in this are 3 eggs, 3 kind of greenish speckled eggs.
These
Each
orc
one
eggs?
about this big. They're dwarf eggs. Okay.
So I'm gonna get on and have a closer look. Do I feel like I could touch them without breaking them, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, I will. I think I'll lean my axes down. Is there more cave beyond, or is
yeah?
Where is
back
like...
to the left and back to the right. There's also like you got a fork in the cave in the mine.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna set my stuff down and have a look at these eggs.
They are green with white speckles. They're about yay big, so they're quite large, actually. There's 3 of them. They look... The nest is much larger than you would need to fit these 3 eggs. So whatever creature sits in this nest must be pretty big, at least compared to the eggs.
Okay. I want to stop and listen, like, to the echoing down the hallway and see if there's any chance that Mama's coming back. I don't know if that's. I guess I passed the perception check to find the place, but yeah, can I try and listen to see if there's anything alive nearby?
Give me a perception check.
So I think I'll take off my helmet, pausing at this intersection, taking my sweet dwarven time.
Is that 23 your check?
Yes, that's perception check.
Okay. You do hear the sound of footfalls coming from the left passage, and as you look out that way, you notice that there are some rocks in here that don't match the walls at all. The walls are kind of like a bluish limestone. These rocks are a little bit more gray. Yeah, it's hard to see in this low light exactly what they are, but as you approach it and start looking at these like fragments of rocks, you notice one of them looks like a foot, and another one looks like a hand.
Carved into the wall, or like...
No, like crumbled on the ground, as if there had been a statue of a person that had been broken, and all that remains is a foot and a hand.
Yeah, so I pick up the stone hand, stone foot.
It's surprisingly well made and detailed. Like, the little lines over the knuckles are carved in, and there's like a nice pattern across the hand. There's even like little lines for the fingerprints. The detail is better than you've ever seen.
Yeah, I realize I've been distracted by this stonemasonry, and there's a beast egg right next to me, so I still need to figure out what that is. So I looked down the 2 hallways. There was no sound, so I was listening, but I heard the stone.
You heard footfalls.
I did?
Yeah.
From which hallway?
The left one.
Coming towards? Apparently not.
It's hard to tell. That's all. They're soft, and it's a mine, so they just kind of echo endlessly, you know? It's really hard to get a distance or a direction on them.
Okay. So I guess I'm gonna get ready here. My helmet back on. I'm gonna leave these eggs. I got no interest in these eggs. And I think I go huffing down the other corridor where it doesn't sound like there's sound coming from.
Sure.
Is Goat coming with? Goat's coming with.
All right. You bring the goat in with you and make your way down the right passage. It goes for a while and then begins to dip, kind of at a downhill slope. You can see little traces in the walls where there would have been copper, but just fragments of it, a fleck here or a fleck there. When the mine hits like the water table, or the water level is risen from the dripping enough that the passage gets submerged by water in this ancient mine. You can't tell if the passage continues down or if it goes down and back up. This might be just a temporary water blockage, or there might be air beyond it, or it might just go infinitely into death.
So I'm a dwarf backed up against some water here. If anything comes behind me. Oh. So I guess I turn around and head back to the intersection. Extra cautious. I think I pause about halfway down the hallway and listen.
Give me
I'm gonna take my helm off and
give me a dex check for how silently you're able to move with all your armor and goat and everything.
I think my dex is 20, just like everything else. But let's
20
character sheet go. Sorry, 11.
Okay.
Why did it on a d20? Yep. 20, just like those are Ryan stats. Nice. 11 is all my dwarf stats. So wonderful. I'm clanging.
You're clanging along, being as silent as a dwarf can be. You get to that intersection again. Those 3 eggs are still there. The crumbled remains of something are nearby, and you can hear the sound of footsteps. They're definitely closer now, and they are accompanied by an occasional hiss.
Probably a snake. I'm getting out of this cave for now, so I'm gonna back out down the main hall. Head down the main hallway. Drag my goat. Come on, goat. You're snake bait. Let's get out of here. Hopefully, heading out. How far is it from the intersection to the sunlight?
I think I said like 60 feet, 50 feet. Not too terribly far.
Okay, so I'm gonna head a little ways out towards outside and look back down at the intersection and see if I see a serpent coming down the other hallway. I think ready behind Goat with the halberd.
It's not quite a serpent, but it's definitely some sort of lizard-like thing begins to poke its head down from that left passage. Its forked tongue kind of flicking out, and I think in a heartbeat, you recognize it not as a lizard or a snake, but as a basilisk.
Yeah, we're getting out of here, Goat, and we, I think, flee.
Okay. You can easily exit the cave and get outside, but there is a basilisk inside, and who knows if it smelled you or not. Are you waiting outside to see what it does?
I ain't fighting the basilisk. Nope.
Okay.
We're gone.
Okay. Why don't you give me another perception check as you keep scouting out the hills, which is what I assume you're doing.
I bet that basilisk has some sweet treasure, but I think I'm in no position to kill it. We need to upgrade my armor and stuff. Struggling with my character sheet.
Is it having a hard time?
I think I might have broke it.
How do you break a character sheet?
Just a lot of the fillable stuff is spazzing. Don't save. Let's open recent. Super weird. like it's spontaneously losing information. But
that's very unfortunate.
Yeah. Okay. So I wander some distance off from the basilisk cave. I think I want nothing to do with the basilisk, and this is probably not the forge I'm looking for. So I'm going to keep scouting.
All right. Give me that second check.
Noting that location. Yeah. Perception check?
Yep. As you keep scouting through the day.
Nope. Waste of a day. And I
find dwarf.
And we make camp some safe distance away from
back at the
mine.
Yeah.
Back at the keep.
Right. Very nice. Still no sign of orcs or basilisks or anything like that. And you can gain another HP as you rest today. Goat happily munches on the grass near the lakeside. And, yeah, you guys have shelter. Let's go to the next day. There's... No. And give me another perception check as you search the area.
All right. 24.
You are walking through this valley over here, searching for things, when there's you see a sort of wet creek. It's just got a little bit of water flowing through it, but you notice there are some like steps built down into the creek bed, like down from the land above it. The creek's not that high. It's maybe like 2 feet deep. Or the dry creek bed is about 2 feet deep with just a little trickle of water. But someone has taken the time to build stairs from the land above all the way down to the creek bed. That imply that there should be something nearby. There's construction here.
So I think goats can climb stairs.
Oh yeah, easy.
A little stubborn about it. You kind of got to drag them step by step, but... I think we'll peer down. We'll approach the top of the staircase and then peer down.
Yeah, the creek bed's not that deep. It's, only two feet deep. But you look down in it, and you look left, and you look right, and it looks just like an ordinary creek bed. Ordinary in every way.
Alrighty.
What is this?
We're heading down the stairs. We're heading down the stairs.
All right.
That's what stairs are made for stepping. So that's what we're gonna do.
All right. You head down into the creek bed and walk along it. As your
which direction does the creek run?
The creek runs. I'm gonna move your dwarf for just a moment. Your creek is running. Like this.
Okay.
And flowing that way.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we walk along it and see what we can see. Is there like is there a walkway built alongside it, or is it just stones, sandy shore?
It's just a dirty, sandy shore in the creek. Above it is just regular old dirt. The stairway leads down, and then there's no more construction in here. As you look back, it looks like there used to be a path from the top of the staircase leading to the west. To the east. But the path is, destroyed and broken after a few feet.
Okay. Well, we do our best to trudge along and see where this river heads.
Yeah.
But where the stairs are to.
Well, stairs go in 2 directions, so you head down the creek bed and start following it. You follow for a good couple of miles to the end of the valley, and the creek bed just kind of winds in between 2 cliffs with a little gorge just narrow enough for the creek and keeps flowing down with all sorts of rocks and boulders in the way. You could keep going down this, but it's looking pretty difficult for goat to come through. There's going to be some rock hopping and some boulder climbing, and you might be able to get it with goat, but it's going to get really tough going.
I think we're going to slow down here at the first sign of obstacle and turn around and head the other direction, upriver.
You head upriver. You come back to the stairs, and you keep heading upriver from there?
Yeah.
Right. You get maybe 30, not quite 30 feet, maybe like 20 feet upriver when you see the remains of what used to be like a dam with a little sluice in it. There's stones that have been cemented into place on either side of this dry bed that raise a little bit above it. And there's a spot where you could have had like a metal or a stone or a wood like gate that you could drop down to block the flow of the river and create like a little dam or a little reservoir behind it that you could then open and let water flow down. Mm-hmm. Or maybe instead of that there was a water wheel here or something. There's definitely construction as if water was being stopped or used for industry.
I think this is as good a spot as any to stop for lunch, and so I'll let Goat munch on some grass nearby. I'll set my stuff down and grab a snack and sort of get a better look at this at the mechanism of the water wheel, try and figure out what's going on here.
Yeah, you find a stone foundation right near this little dammy, sluicy thingy majobber on the east side of the creek. Whatever building was here is gone, but the foundation remains.
It's all above ground, right? So just a foundation. Well, we sit here on this concrete slab and take our lunch. And unless there's an encounter.
Yeah, so you're sitting, you're having your lunch. You finish up your lunch and you go to get Goat, who has wandered just a little bit away to find, slightly better grass. And as you're grabbing Goat to continue going, you see that it's munching around this section of tall grass, and as you get there, you find a chimney built into the ground. It's about, only about yay wide, and walls are about yay thick, so there's not much of a room. The actual chimney itself, the hole is about yay big, and it goes down into the earth.
The subterranean dwarf forge. I consult the map on the inverted halfling. Oh, that halfling has been just sloshed. He's probably fallen off a bunch.
He's been fallen off and fallen back on, and he's been tied, and he's rotting. His body's in pretty bad condition.
Yeah. I consult the bag one last time, or not one, again, and see if it seems like that's where I am. I mean, this is a pretty crude sketch, right?
Yeah.
But, assuming that's the river doesn't lead. Oh.
If you want to look at the two maps side by side, you can just open the Regal Goblins map.
Yeah. Well, a chimney certainly is a good sign. So is there any obvious way into like the basement of this building? You said it was just a single story, so I was expecting to like find a basement, but it looks like or this could just be the roof.
The roof could be at ground level.
I'm gonna poke around, look in bushes nearby, and see if there's an entrance or like up the ground.
Yeah,
I'm like down in a creek bed, right?
No, this chimney is off the side of the creek bed on the level terrain nearby. Yeah, you start looking around in bushes and looking for some sort of hidden entrance, and maybe a couple hundred, like 200-300 feet away from the staircase, kind of back behind some collapsed boulders and collapsed terrain, you find another foundation with a couple of steps carved into it, and then just like rubble blocking the steps that leading down into whatever's below. You're gonna have to dig it out if you want to get through, but there is a stairway leading underground.
Yeah. Okay, so this is definitely it. Yeah, that the river on the map is certainly the Meady River, or whatever that river is, the river to Meadstead.
Honey Rapids.
This has got to be some secret halfling forge. I don't know. So I think I'll set the. Well, no, I'll gather my things once again and head over to this. You said there's a staircase that leads down into the foundation. Was it intentionally concealed, or was it just like naturally leaves and things grew over it?
No, it looks like there might have been construction here, but it's all collapsed, and now the staircase has just been filled in with crap over time. It does not look intentionally concealed.
Okay. So I guess we'll head on in. Is this sized for human or dwarf?
Sized for dwarf. It'll take you probably an hour or so to dig it out, which is not too much of a problem.
Yeah, so I guess, yeah, okay. So I clear the rubble by hand, I suppose.
You clear the rubble and enter down into this building. The air down here is cool and dry, and you are filled with kind of a sense of peace. As you walk in, you find an old forge down here. It's all built underground. There's a little section where, like a big brazier that one might fill with coal to be able to fuel the fires. There's a pair of bellows, but they're old and tattered, and the leather has holes in them, so that's not really going to work anymore. And affixed above, like on the chimney, right above the forge, are three different symbols, all of them symbols for Sayre. One of them in the human form, one of them in a halfling form, one of them in the dwarven form. And they're all kind of fixed in like a triangle. Dwarf on top, human and halfling below. There are workbenches that are kind of decayed. There are some tools around here, but they're corroded and ancient. The stuff looks like it's at least 300 years old. But it is a small underground forge.
Does it look like there's evidence of recent use?
Absolutely not.
Well, I'll settle on in.
Okay.
This is fortuitous. I'm a dwarf, so naturally skeptical. This all feels a little contrived, don't you think? And I sort of look up.
You look up, and you notice that holy symbol of Sayre in Dwarven is kind of shedding some light. The light starts to shed a little bit brighter, and it starts to wash over you, and as it does so, you can feel your wounds begin to knit over and patch up.
Well, that's certainly something. Do I gain full HP?
You will, over time.
Well, I guess we settle in here. I mean, is it possible to get the forge burning again, or is there no fuel?
There's no fuel left, but if you find or mine your own fuel, you'll be able to get it working. The tools will need to be repaired.
Well, Goat stays outside, but I'm going to unload him, or rather unload the halfling and pull him into the forge here. So this wasn't his forge, but he was probably coming here? Is that
Possibly.
the best I can piece together?
Yeah.
Well, if this is truly a priest of Sayre, the only right way to send him off is to cremate him, of course. So we got to get this furnace fire going again. So I think I'll need to set out gathering wood, right? Is there any wood along the riverbed, or I'm gonna have to go?
Yeah, there are plenty of trees and bushes and branches.
Just burn regular trees? I mean, I think typically you mine coke, right? Coal.
That would be the better way of doing it. That's gonna get your fires hotter. much hotter than just wood.
But I guess for now, I'll get firewood so I can cremate this halfling here, I guess.
You start,
and
you start gathering all of this wood, and each time you bring an armload of wood back into the underground forge, the symbol of Sayer is a little bit brighter and a little bit brighter until your fifth armload. It's pretty decent lighting in here. It's like good lantern light all over the place, enough that you can easily see and work by.
Can I find? Is there any? I guess now that it's lit, I'm going to search the place for any. Are there any scrolls or tablets or pictographs? Any sign of what this place is?
There
and
is.
Who built it?
Yeah, it looks like it is a combination of architecture. The entranceway was sized for dwarves, but the inside of this would work for humans as well. It's maybe an 8-foot ceiling in here. As I said, the craftsmanship is dwarven. You can tell by the way the rocks are joined well together, using minimal mortar, just enough to hold things together, keep them tight. And as you're searching around, you hear a disembodied voice call out to you. Zwiehard.
Oh, am I supposed to respond? Hello? Is it, is there a disembodied, a spirit, a geist to give this voice, life or
no
unlife?
No, there's just a voice kind of echoing all around you.
Hello? I shout.
It repeats your name, Zwiehard, a little louder.
Yes, 'tis I, Zwiehard. And I stand up, if I'm not already, and go looking around.
You see on one of the crafting tables nearby, there is a lump of mithril that was not there 2 minutes ago.
I walk over to the crafting table. Is it a sphere of mithril similar to the one that I found on the halfling?
It's not a sphere. It's mithril combined with rock. It's like a whole big lump of mithril ore that's just kind of sitting there.
I walk over to it, doubting my eyes. Be this some trick of Jexel? Can I inspect the mithril ore and see if it's real? Can I roll the disbelieve illusion?
You may make a saving throw versus spell. Go for it.
Oh. Is a saving throw versus spell is 11.
Oh, that's really good.
I told you, we dwarves are naturally skeptical. The question is Sayor offended that my faith wavered and I dare roll that saving throw? Is this real? Is this happening?
It's real. It's happening. Something is talking to you. Something has healed your wounds, and something has presented you with a huge chunk of mithril ore.
Yeah, so I'm now inspecting the mithril to see if it's real. Which is a perception mining check?
Give me a mining proficiency
Actually,
check.
I'm only half a miner. I've also got a blacksmithing.
Give me any smithing related check.
So I'm better off with strength, but I think this is an int check. So I'll roll my still passing my mining.
Wonderful. It is real rock and it is real mithril ore, and you know for certain that mithril ore does not come from this region. It only comes from, I think, Mystria. I think that's like the only mithril source in the world, in Arcadia.
The gods don't just go throwing mithril around like this. This must be some sort of test. So I think I spend a good couple of hours contemplating what to do with this mithril. Does anything ensue further, or do we go to like a montage of? Okay.
You hear the disembodied voice say one more thing to you. It says, "Forge me. Prove yourself to me."
Father? Sir? I say, slurring sir and sayor to some honorific.
You don't hear a response, but you can feel it in your priestly heart. You can feel the influence of your deity here, presenting you with a lump of mithril ore to be forged by you into something.
I only have one question. Did you have to kill the halfling? Awkward silence. Okay. Well, so the light is. You said there were two other symbols next to the symbol of Sayer.
Yeah. There's three symbols of Sayer: the dwarven version, the human version, and the halfling version, and they're kind of in a triangle on the chimney. The dwarven version is the one that is shedding light, and you have been tasked with a holy quest by your god to create something. And I think we're going to go to break here, and we will see you on the other side of our break. Bye-bye.